Into the middle it goes. It's a chance for the hat trick. It is a hat trick.
It was ugly, but we got 3 points last time out. But can Jamaica finally show their dominance against a very, very good Guatemala team? This is Jamaica versus Guatemala Preview Show. Yeah, people, welcome back to Jamaica Fan, and we are gearing up for our last and final game in this World Cup qualifying second round against the group leaders, Guatemala. The post-mortem of the game against BVI is finally over, and I'm quite sure everybody can come into agreement that while we got the 3 points, that was not a good enough performance that is fitting for this Reggae Boyz team. So now we're back on home soil, back at the National Stadium in Kingston, to take on our league leaders who should be buzzing in confidence after they turn around a 2-1 deficit at halftime at home against Don Rep to eventually win their game 4-2. What it should show Steve McLaren and the boys is that this Guatemala team has a little bit of fight and tenacity about them and will not give up until the final whistle. But before we get to Guatemala, we have to focus a bit on ourselves. We enter this game a bit banged up, with Richard King leaving the match with a bit of an injury, and he may not be available for the game tomorrow. And when you add the fact that Hayden missed the game completely on Saturday, it does give a bit of a conundrum to the squad and how McLaren choose to go forward. It also highlights a bit the squad selection was probably not the most balanced, again referring once again to the fact that he only chosen 5 specialist midfielders. Meaning, if Hayden and King can go, that means that Low will have to pair Holgate at centre back, and I'm guessing Latabodere will have to take up the spot at number 6. Which means that Dexter would have to go again at right back against a very good attacking Guatemala team, which is like your typical Central America side that is neat and tidy in possession, but will look to spread their wingers out wide, conjure up majority of their chances in and goal. We really should not take them lightly. This Guatemala team definitely have some goals in them, reflected by their plus 11 goal difference, but on the plus side, they are not the best team either when it comes to their defense. Guatemala in their last 3 matches has shipped 6 goals, so it's definitely far from a close shot back line, and as long as we take our chances this time, Jamaica should get at least 1 and 2 goals. But a part of this is kind of determined on how both teams plan to approach this game. This match is giving off the same vibe that we got last year when Jamaica played Honduras here at the National Stadium in their last Nation League group match, where the result wasn't really much of importance to either team. We saw Honduras come here and basically play a bit of negative football, was not interested to come forward, and of course Jamaica, with their usual problems of breaking on a low block, didn't do much going forward themselves. I kind of feel it will be the same thing happening again here on Tuesday. Guatemala has nothing to play for, of course. In terms of advancement to the final round of qualification, both teams are already there, and it doesn't really matter who finished first or second. Jamaica is almost sure to get a seeded spot in the next phase of World Cup qualifying due to their CONCACAF ranking. But honestly, after that performance again against PVI, and since it's been some time that we give the home fans something to shout about, the Reggae Boyz honestly should not be focusing on Guatemala but themselves, and must look to keep the ball well and enforce our style and play from minute 1. I mean, we're supposed to be a regional powerhouse, and it's finally time that we remind the rest of CONCACAF that we are forced to be reckoned with. I want to see us go direct and go direct quickly. I want to see us with a much quicker tempo in this game, almost as if our World Cup lives will depend on the 3 points. Especially when you factor in that we'll play Guatemala again at the start of the 2025 World Cup. So if you smash them in Kingston, we get the early psychological advantage heading into that match. Alright, let me quickly look at 3 key players for both sides heading into this match, and I'm going to start with Damen Low. So he played the center defensive midfield role last time out, and while I won't say he had a horrible game, and while you could clearly see that he was trying his best, I don't think he was largely effective in that type of match. Funny enough, he would be better suited against these type of opponents who are known to be a bit tough in the tackle in the middle of the park, and Low would provide much needed physicality in that area of the field. But as stated before, if both King and Hayden are out, you will most likely see Low all the way back to partner Holgate in the centre-back period. And to be honest, he looked a bit shaky there when he had to step in for the last 15 minutes of the game against BVI, so if he starts there, hopefully he's on his A game. Alright, the next player I want to look at now is Wana Brown. He got the crucial goal for us last time, but largely, again, he was a bit ineffective in the match overall. He might get the starting nod again after scoring that goal once again, and this is the type of match he had to impose his presence in the game. Wana Brown is a willing runner, and he will be constantly should be a busting around to press the back line, and will come in handy against a Guatemala team who likes to hold on to the ball in their final third before they try and move through the lines. With Antonio returning to the squad for the Gold Cup, competition for that low number 9 spot is now heating up, so Wana Brown should definitely use this last match to make Steve McLaren's choice a much easier one. And the final player I want to look on is Amari Bell. He missed out on the game against BVI to Greg Lee because I guess we wanted more attacking going up that side. But against Guatemala, who aggressively uses the flanks to start their attacks, Bell should be pivotal in this match, especially since they will line up against one of their best players in Oscar Santis over on that left hand side, who's coming off a hat-trick of course. And they will also have to contend with who I feel is their best player, the right back Herrera, who will be constantly bombing down that right side in overlapping, so unless he has some great help from Cephas down that left hand side, Bell will have his work cut out for him. Alright, let me highlight quickly some of Guatemala's key players. I mentioned 2 of them already. I will start with their impressive right winger, Oscar Santis. He was clearly the man of the match, of course, in their last match against Dan Rep after scoring a hat-trick in 71 minutes. But despite that, he's not really a profound goal scorer and actually causes more damage with his numerous assists to his fellow strike partners. He's a very tricky player that can go both ways, and Bell will need to keep an eye on him, especially if he decides to drift in from the right hand side and come centrally. Now, sticking to the right hand side, what to mention the other great player they have is Aaron Herrera. He's one of their most experienced players after being in the national team since he was 18 and has been regarded for years as one of the best attacking fullbacks in the MLS. Look for him on the overlap down the right hand side. Also need to be aware of his pinpoint crosses into the box. Arguably, he's the team's best player. But the last person I want to focus is a man that is very short on confidence, and that's their number 1 goalkeeper, Nicholas Hagen. This player is regarded in the region as one of the better ball-playing goalkeepers, very good with the ball on his feet, but lately he seemed to have a sprout of confidence issue and have been making severe mistakes for both club and country. Here he was just last week against Messi's Inter Miami with a bad play right here, and then he didn't get any better in the match against Dan Rep with this massive mistake right here. His confidence is definitely shakier at the moment, and it seems we may can try our luck for 1 and 2 shots from distance to see how well his handling would be on the Kingston pitch. Alright, I'm going to quickly end with what I believe should be the starting 11. Of course, Blake in goal. Bell should come back at left back. If King have any niggles, I think resting for the Gold Cup make more sense, so I'd bring Low and Allgate at the centre back pairing. And as for right back, I would have preferred Latiba there, but since he may be needed in the number 6 position, Dexter should get another chance to impress. As for the midfield trio, John Russell should have an easier time of things, so he comes back in. Latiba there might have to replace Hayden at number 6, and I will give Gray another shot at the number 10 position. Cephas hopefully gets more space as left wing for me. I will give Wana Brown the first 50 minutes as centre forward. As for right wing, I would bring Bailey back into the team after he provided a bit of spark off the bench in the last match. But alright guys, that's all I got here for this latest preview show. Let me know in the comment section below what is your projected score for tomorrow. Are you going to the game? Or are you watching it on TV? And what do you believe the performance will be from our Reggae Boyz? Otherwise, thank you all for watching, and please like, subscribe and share as we look to keep you all up to date on the Reggae Boyz from this match and all the way through the Gold Cup as well. Otherwise, for great Reggae Boyz content, you're already at the right place. Jump Fan. YouTube, big up yourself.